Welcome back, everyone, to Pinetopia. We are back here in the temple, and I finally have a silk touch item here, which means I can take this down without angering the bees. There you go. And that means now I could finally move it to there. Good. Now everything is all nice and proper. And actually, since I got silk touch, I could also grab the campfire with this. Good. Actually, do I want... Yeah, the dirt goes that way. That's right, that didn't have the proper item there because there was a hive over there. All right, let's take care of that. That's one less thing to worry about. It also means that I can now grab the bee's nest over there, install it over here, so I could quicken the efforts in order to get all 6 of my bees' nests. We've got one nest right over here under this random tree. So we'll grab that one. And that'll help us along. And I guess we could either grab one from near the starting area. Actually, I think I've seen one or two along the way there. Probably grab one of those and use that. But for this, I could just stick this right here. It even still has the honey in it. Wow. And oh yes, get a campfire for it. I think I got one of these in here somewhere. Campfires, right? Oh, actually, we'll take the cornflowers. All right, I will take the cornflowers and the campfires. Where did I put those things? I lost them. Ah, here they are with the honey. I guess that makes a little bit of sense. Now that I have a plan relating to the pillars, let's get back to the cleric's room. Last time we built the floor, which is right over here, and I did the alternating pattern. Since the last episode, I also built the floor around other parts of here, going all the way around here. So now we have where the walls are and where the floors are. I may change in some of these floors at a later time, but for now, I'm just using them all in the same way, except for the entryway where I'm doing it in a pattern reminiscent of the sanctuary there. So this exterior right here, I am still doing it all in dark oak. I have to decide whether I'm going to keep it that way or if I'm going to change it. And then if I do change it up, do I use birch there and therefore bring out the birch here and do it that way? So that's something to consider for later. Now, right now, I need to do the walls and going out for all the interior walls. And I'm wondering, am I going to use stone or am I going to use wood? Now, considering all the oak that I've collected in the trying to get those things up, I think oak might be a good thing to use for this. Oh, oak is down here. Look at all this oak that I have. Yeah, I think I could afford to use a little bit of it. Now what I have here is I have the doors with the wood area there, and I have where I want walls with the cobble. I think we just look like that. Actually, we will need a door into here. I think I missed something. Oh yes, I most definitely missed something here. Suppose the best place to put it is right here. There you go. Means I'll need a piece of jungle wood for that location. And I'm going off of one of the dark oak pieces, so we'll blend in with the dark oak that's right here. Yeah, I think that'll work. Now, I can do that. Well, the exterior walls, though, will have to, well, you remember my plans there were relating to having the granite and then going up with some other stones up and trying to turn them into some sort of murals. All right, there you go. All right, that's high enough there to discourage villagers. I want this at least to be high enough to discourage villagers from coming in here and taking my bed, because that's the entire point of making this room, is so I could have a place to sleep. Oh, right there. There you go. And good. And then right over here. And I think that should be able to give us our... Is this room that large? Yeah, a nice sizable room it looks like. All right, that's good. The doors definitely should not be oak, because that would just look too plain and ordinary. For this door, I'll be using spruce. Now for this door, though, I'll be using iron. Now I'll be using an iron door for two reasons. One is because the module very specifically says that the door is locked, and really is no way to lock an oak door. And the other reason is because I don't want the villagers to be passing there, and I think if I use a wooden door, the villagers will pass there. So I think that will do. I may switch that out with the lever instead of a button at some point, but for now we can leave that as a button until the first time I try going in there completely panicked. Let's get in, let's get in, let's get in, and when it's sunset and I completely fail at the matter. Let's move the bed and call that home. Now, technically, the trap door right here, I believe, is supposed to be beneath the bed, sort of hidden here, but I'm going to just be putting it beside it to ease my entry and exit into it. There you go. And this is a little underground area that we have. That used to be opened up, but I cover that up so I won't be falling into it constantly. And then this goes into our dungeon area, and I think it might meet up with the... Oh, no, it meets up with the outside. All right. Oh, fun. Right next to a house in the village. It should eventually meet up with this little thing. So these things are going all in all several directions in here. But it's probably some place to get lost in, but it's supposed to be a little bit of a dungeon anyway, so getting lost of it is just part of the job, isn't it? I suppose I'll also be needing an iron door there for the same reason I said before. I don't know what the module says about this particular door, but most definitely we'll be wanting it locked so that villagers won't be using it as a way to get to my bed. They should stick to their own beds, right? Right. There we go. The trouble of relocating your bed, of course, is that the first time you actually need to go to sleep, you forget where it's at. I suppose a villager could come into this room, come up here and round like that, so perhaps I better start on the exterior wall so that I will have some means of discouraging that behavior. And I believe I was planning to have andesite as the main thing there and use diorite as sort of the shape for various plants. Well, 3 diorite certainly not going to be enough to do that. I need a bit more diorite. Ah, there's some here. Still not a bounty of it, but it'll have to do. And perhaps I'll find some more at the beekeeper's house. So let's see what we could do here. Andesite. Now the question is, do I want andesite or do I want polished andesite? Now the diorite, very definitely want that to be polished. Do I have a stone cutter here? Yes, I do have a stone cutter here. So let's polish all the diorite. There you go. How about if I polish this stack so I at least have a chance to be able to compare the andesite to the polished andesite to see which one suits my wishes a little bit better. Let's start by just putting one layer of, well, actually, that's the, I was intending the non-polished variety there, but let's try the non-polished first, see how that works. Looks like I'll most likely be changing that out, but let's give it a shot there. All right, there you go. Now, we want something that looks like a tree coming up. What kind of intervals do we want for that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, okay. So we'll do that in intervals of 8 then. How about, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out by placing this with polished granite. So I have polished granite in the corners there. Now, I wasn't anticipating doing that, which means I need to get granite. So I'll put one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that means we'll put one there. So I'll be using the granite as a bit of a border here. 2, 3. And that ends there. That means there won't be a border going into there. I have to see whether or not that works at some point. That means the tree will start here. And we could be putting a polished diorite there. And we can do the same for this. Of course, whatever pattern we do on the outside is also going to affect the inside. I didn't think about that. Whether that's good or bad, I'll have to decide in the end. But let's see. How about if we go up by 2? So we wouldn't, right? Because the idea here is that we will have it go up by 2 and then it could bifurcate. See what it does there. Up here and here. And branch out like we're dealing with leaves. Well, I don't think it's going to look exactly like a tree. But at least it won't be just plain old vanilla, right? That might. There will be that. Before I continue, let's compare these two. Here is it with the polished, and there is the unpolished, and I definitely like the polished better. So I am going to take this side down, replace it with the polished, and we can then be able to continue and finish this little bit up, assuming I don't keep on misplacing blocks, of course. Looks like something like a Y or a V that we've got here. So going to go for letters. I think M would have been better for America. Or actually, I could do an M. That's an idea. How about taking this down and replacing it with an M? How will that look? When I look at this, I see that the division between the two rooms is one off that division there. I think I'm going to move that just so it will be right on line with it. I don't think that's going to happen every time all throughout the area, but I think in this case, I'm just going to nice and neaten that up. So that means, of course, taking this down and redoing the floor a little bit. I will note that in the original module, this room is definitely larger than this one. So I am going a little bit off module just to make that look a little bit better. There you go. And then we get back, put our door back. Buttons up there and there. All right, good. And now, well, we still have this as a, well, let's see, it's intended to be a tree. So this YV thing does look a little bit more like a tree than an M would, yes. Ooh, decisions. Go by lettering or go by shape. It almost looks like two people passing something between them instead of an M, which is rather strange. That looks like a V despite the fact I'm trying to make it look like a tree, and this looks like two people passing something between them despite trying to make it look like an M. You just can't win. I guess you always see a little bit something somewhere. So two people passing something to them might be reasonable for an agricultural situation. So I think both the symbology and the lettering work in this case. I think I'm going to go with the M there. And I'm sure somebody else looking at this is going to come up with something completely different on the matter. I think I'll go with it. All right. Good. So I'll make up the exterior walls. Now, anything I do to decorate the interior walls, I may have to think on that. That's the tricky thing. Oh yeah, banners, of course, will be one way of handling things. So I should make some banners. The question is, what should I do on the banners? I'll probably have to look up various banner designs and see if I can find something that may fit the motif I'm looking for. Maybe some bee banners and some agricultural banners. I'm sure there have to be some of them existing in the database somewhere. Oh. Oh, a few more. All right, there you go. There, but that'll take care of this room here. And that's how this will operate. Obviously, I won't be able to get that pattern to fit onto that right there, but is worth it for doing it, I think, just for that room at least. I think this is where I'll leave things off for the moment. And between episodes, I'll try to get more of the exterior walls complete, as well as many of the interior walls. Next time, I'd like to do this corridor right here, which is going to have its own interesting little bit. And perhaps also get down to the other side if possible. But we'll find that out when I return for the next episode of Finally Plays Minecraft Pinetopia.